Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Friends to this ground.
Long live the king!
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
Have you had a quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Has the thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of her. Therefore I have entreated her along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, she may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while.
Peace. Break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure, like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurpest this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay! Speak! Speak! I charge thee, speak!
'Tis gone and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy?
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. 'Tis strange.
Thus, twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work, I know not. But, in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Oh, yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, memory be green, and that it has befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one bow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, and now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and one dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with urge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone along with this affair. For all, our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is, Laertes? What wouldst thou have?
Dread, my lord, your leave and favour to return to France.
You your mother's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will.
My lord.
But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my child.
A little more than king and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Oh, good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Ay, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of weakness, stubbornness, is faint-hearted grief. I pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. But let the world take note you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his heir, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our daughter.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall obey you, madam.
Why? With a loving and a fair reply. He is ourself in Denmark. Madam, come.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, oh fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely that it should come to this. But 2 months dead? Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was. To this Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe. All tears. Why she, even she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married, oh most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets.
Hail to your ladyship.
I'm glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself.
Same, my lady, and your poor servant ever.
What is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink ere deep you depart.
My lady, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lady, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lady?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
My lady, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lady, the king, your father.
The king, my father.
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver, upon the witness of these gentlemen, this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit, and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and a trifling of her favor, A passion, and a toy in blood. A violet in the youth of primary nature. Forward, not permanent. Sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Think it, no more. Perhaps she loves you now, and now nor soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of her will, but you must fear. Her greatness weighed, her will is not her own, for she herself is subject to her birth. She may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for herself, for on her choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list her songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to her unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia! Fear it, my dear sister. I keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot, and the danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart.
I stay for long. But here my mother comes.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame, you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Give every man your ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can bear, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and so it follows, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Oh, farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lady.
The time invites you, go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
The air bites shrewdly. What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. Then draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. Look, it comes!
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. King, Father, Royal Dane, oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly in urn hath oped its ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again.
It beckons you to go away with it.
Do not go!
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lady.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lady, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness?
It waves me still. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lady.
Hold off your hands!
Be ruled, you shall not!
Unhand me! By heaven, I'll make a ghost of any that'll let me. I say away! Go on. I'll follow thee. Wilt, whether thou lead me, speak, I'll go no further.
My hour is almost come, and I to sulphurous and tormenting flame must render up myself. Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
If thou didst ever thy dear father love, revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder.
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep up to my revenge.
Given out of sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, so the whole year of Denmark is by a forged process of my death, rankly abused. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting your father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, mine uncle.
Ay, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, won to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous creed. But soft methinks I scent the morning air, brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my customers of the afternoon, upon my secure hour. Uncle stole the juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigour it doth toss it and turd like eager droppings into milk the thin and wholesome blood. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unannaled. No reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest, but howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well. Adieu. Adieu. Hamlet, remember me.
Remember thee. I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds his seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yea, by heaven, oh most pernicious woman, oh villain! Villain! Smiling, damned villain!
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, alas, my lady, I have been so affrighted.
With what?
My lady, as I was sewing in my chamber, Lady Hamlet, with her doublet all embraced, pale as her shirt, her knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purpose, as if she had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, she comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lady, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said she?
She took me by the wrist and held me hard. And then she goes to the length of all her arm, and with her other hand that's over her brow, she falls to such perusal of my face as she would draw it. On the stage she so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice her head thus waving up and down. It did seem to shatter all her bulk and end her being. Well, that done, she lets me go. And with her head over her shoulder, turned she to find her way without her eyes, and out o' doors she went without her help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This must be known.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be more than her father's death that thus hath put her so much from the understanding of herself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with her, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time. So by your companies to draw her on to pleasures, and to gather, so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts her thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
And for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
We both obey.
I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed daughter.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to her.
Aye, amen.
My good liege, I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that I do long to hear.
I doubt it is no other but the main, her father's death and our hasty marriage.
I will be brief. Your noble heir is mad. Mad, call it I, for to define true madness, what is it to be nothing else but mad?
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That she is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity. And mad let us grant her then. And now remains that we find out the cause of this effect. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, Mark, hath given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter given me. And what more above hath her solicitings as they fell out by time, by means and place, all given to mine ear.
But how hath she received this love?
To my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lady Hamlet is a royal out of thy sphere. This must not be. And I then precepts gave her that she should lock herself from this resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, and Hamlet, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, and by this declension into the madness wherein now she raves.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very likely.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so when it proved otherwise.
What did I know? How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes she walks for hours here in the lobby.
So she does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to her. Be you and I behind an arras then, and mark the encounter. If she love her not, and not from her reason fawn thereon, let me be no assistant for estate, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
My honored lady.
My most dear lady.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz, how do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lady.
What make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lady, no other occasion.
Were you sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lady?
Why, anything but to the purpose. Were you sent for, and There is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lady?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
My lady, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgotten all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form, and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lady, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
My good friends, you are welcome to Elsinore. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lady?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us. For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that she, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. The mother and myself will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by her as she is behaved, if it be the affliction of her love, or no, that thus she suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring her to her wonted way again.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Ophelia, read on this book. That show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear her coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause.
Good, my lady. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well, well, well.
My lady, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, I know not. I never gave you aught.
My honored lady, you know right well you did. Was there, my lady?
Are you honest?
My lady?
Are you fair?
What means, your ladyship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lady, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from that which is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into its likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lady. You made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. We are arrant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy way to a nunnery. Where's your mother?
At home, my lady.
Let the doors be shut upon her, that she may play the fool nowhere but in its own house. Farewell.
Oh, help her, you sweet heavens.
Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For the wise know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore her.
Hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. Go too! I'll make no more on it. We will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery, go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown.
Love, her affections do not that way tend, nor what she spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in her soul, o'er which her melancholy sits on brood. I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger. Which for to prevent, she shall with speed to England. What think you?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of her grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lady Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but let her queen mother all alone entreat her to show her grief. Let her be round with her, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find her not, to England send her, or confine her where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Good, my lady. Vouchsafe me a word with you. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful offspring that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any more trade with us?
My lady, you once did love me.
And so I do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lady, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Will you play upon this pipe?
My lady, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lady.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb, give it a breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why? Look you now how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me? You would seem to know my stops? You would pluck out the heart of my mystery? You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet you cannot make it speak. Splut, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me.
I like it not, nor stand it safe with us to let this madness rage. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and she to England shall along with you.
We will haste us.
My lord, she's going to her mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. I warrant she'll tax her home. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lady. Oh, my offence is rank. It smells to heaven. It has the primal elder's curse upon it, a brother's murder. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood, is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive my foul murder! Ah, that cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. They want the pardon and retain the offence. Oh, wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. Limed soul is struggling to be free, art more engaged. Help, angels, make us say. Ow, stubborn knees. All may be well.
Now I might do it. Now he is praying. And so he goes to heaven. Am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up sword. And know thou a more horror tent. When he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that hath no relish of salvation in it, then trip him that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black at hell, whereto it goes.
She will come straight. Look you, lay home to her. Tell her her pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace...
Mother! Mother!
Mother! I'll warrant you, fear me not. Now withdraw, I hear her coming. Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you answer with a wicked tongue.
Nay, Then I'll set those to you that can speak.
You will not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help! Help, ho!
What ho? Help! Help! Help!
No. A rat! Ah!
Oh! I'm slain.
Oh, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Leave wringing of your hands, peace. Sit down and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff. Look here upon this picture, and on this the counter presentment of two brothers. See what grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion curls. The front of Jove himself, and I like Mars to threaten and command, a station like Herald Mercury, a new lighted on heaven's kissing hill, a combination in form and deed where every god did seem to set his seal. To give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look, you know what follows. Here's your husband. Like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you sit on this fair mountain leaf to feed and batten on this moor?
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more.
A murderer.
These words like daggers enter in mine ears.
A gang of trumpets and scratches.
No more.
Save me and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your most gracious figure
Not forget. This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Who step between her and her fighting soul, speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Oh, alas, how is with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse. Whereon do you look?
On him. On him. Look you how pale he glares. Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all.
Nor did nothing you hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there. Look you how it steals away, my father, in his habit as he lived. Look you where he goes, even now at the portal.
No, this is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy! My pulse as yours doth temperately keep time and make us healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword, which madness will gamble from. Mother, for your love of grace, lay not the flattering unction of your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, will rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them rancor.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Go not to mine uncle's bed, assume a virtue if you have it not, refrain tonight. And that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy, for use almost can change the stamp of nature, and either curb the devil, or throw him out with wondrous potency. For this same lady, I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. One word more, good lady. Let not the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reechy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you ravel in all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft. 'Twere good you let him know, for who's that but a queen? Fair, sober, wise, would from a padlock, from a bat, a gib, such dear concernings hide. Who would do so? No, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket on the house's top. Let the birds fly, and like the famous ape to try conclusions, in the basket creep and break your own neck down.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath, and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
That, what noise is this? What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. Young Laertes in a righteous head o'erbears your offices. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king, Laertes king.
Oh, the doors are broke.
Ah, thou vile king! Give me my mother!
Calmly. Good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlots even here, between the chaste unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like?
Where is my mother?
Dead.
How came she dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, I dare damnation. Only I'll be revenged, most thoroughly, for my mother.
Now, you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. As I am guiltless of your mother's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it, it shall as level to your judgment pierce as day goes to your night. For she which hath your noble mother slain pursued my life.
If that be so, then tell me why you have proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
Oh, for two special reasons, which may to you perhaps seem much unsinewed, but to me they are strong. The Queen, her mother, lives almost by her looks. The other motive why to the public court I might not go is the great love the general gender bear her, who, taking all her faults in their affection, would, like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert her gyves to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them.
So have I a noble mother lost, a sister driven into desperate terms. But my revenge will come.
If it be so, Laertes, as how should it be so? How otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you'll not overrule me to a peace?
To thine own peace. I will work her to exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which she shall not choose but fall. And for her death no wind shall breathe, but even her mother shall uncharge the practice, and call it accident.
My lord, I'll be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein they say you shine. Your sum of parts did not together pluck such envy from her as did that one.
What part is that, my lord?
2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. He made confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defence, and for your rapier, most especially, that he cried out, "'Twould be a sight indeed if one could match you." The scrimmers of their nation, he swore, had neither motion, guard, nor eye, if you opposed them. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with her envy, that she could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming o'er to play with her.
What out of this, my lord?
Good Laertes, keep close within your chamber. Hamlet soon shall know you are come home. We'll bring you in fine together, and wager on your heads. She being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not pursue the foils, and that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice, requite her for your mother.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataclysm so rare, collected from all simples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death. This is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that, if I gall her slightly, it may be death.
When you, in your motion, you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and she calls for drink, I have prepared her a chalice, Sir Nonce, whereon but sipping, if she by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. And now, sweet queen.
One woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows us her leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. Liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. And there, on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver brook. When down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up. In which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. Long it could not be till her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she's drowned?
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water, hast thou, poor Ophelia. And therefore I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this fully doubts it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will bid start again. Therefore let's follow.
What ceremony else? What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful. And for the great command or sways the order, she should enground and sanctified have lodged to the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin rites, her made instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead, to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace-parted souls.
Lay her the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bade to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Ah, treble woe! Full 10 times treble on that cursed head whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now, pile the dust upon the quick and the dead. Fill off this flat a mountain you've made to o'er top old Pelion, or the sky shed of blue Olympus. The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I pray thee take thy fingers from my throat.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, she is mad, Laertes.
Oh, for love of God, forbear her!
Oh, show me what thou do. Will thou weep? Will it fight? Will it fast? Will it tear thyself? Will thou drink a easel, eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I.
No, this is mere madness.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
You will lose this wager, my lady.
I do not think so. Since he went to France, I have been in continual practice, and I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here but my heart, but it is no matter.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now.
Come, Hamlet. Take Laertes' hand from me.
Give me pardon, sir. I have done you wrong. But pardon as you are a gentleman, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot my arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature. I do receive your offer to love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils. Come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, lady.
Not by this hand.
Give them the foils. Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds on the weaker side.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all the length.
Aye, my good lady.
Set me the stoups of wine upon that table. Now, the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lady.
1.
No.
Judgment.
A hit. A very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give her the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come. Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our lady shall win.
Oh, she's scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin. Rub thy brows. The queen carouses to your fortunes, Hamlet.
Good, madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
Oh, my lord, I will. Forgive me.
It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
My lord, I'll hit her now.
Oh, I do not think it.
Come on for a third, Laertes. You but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I'm afraid you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on. How about you now? Ah!
Oh, now I'm wounded. How about you now?
I'm struck.
Not them. They're incensed.
Nay, come again.
Look to the queen there! Ho!
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lady?
How is it, Laertes?
I am the woodcock to my own springe. I am justly killed with mine own
The queen.
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, 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 the drink. The drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, 'tis the drink. I'm poisoned.
Oh, villainy! How? Let the doors be locked! Treachery! Seek it out!
Here, Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there's not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king is to blame.
The point in venom too. Then venom to thy work. Ugh!
Treason! Treason!
Friends, I am that head.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink of this poison. Is thy union here? Follow my mother.
Oh!
Justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my mother's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Oh, good Horatio, what a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee a while from felicity, and in this harsh world draw my last breath in pain to tell my story.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet princess, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Thank you for coming to tonight's performance of Hamlet Now. A talk back with the cast follows these credits. No Regrets Theater Company and Playhouse 2020. The play was edited and condensed by J.P. Crabb. Hamlet is played by Janelle Avalon. Horatio is played by Molly Jackman. Claudius and the Ghost are played by Henry Graham Murray. Gertrude is played by Marcia French. Laertes is played by Dennis Himatalu. Ophelia is played by Susanna Dixon. Polonius is played by Paula K. Long. Rosencrantz is played by Frey Bendel. Guildenstern is played by Rose Collins. Marcellus and Osric are played by Samantha Ross. And Bernardo and the Priest are played by me, Dave Sharp. Our technical director is Austin Downs. Our producer is Molly Jackman. And the play is directed by Henry Graham Murray. The items were played by you. Thank you for your excellent performance. We are staging another live performance tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific time, and we hope to see you there. You may contact us at noregretstheatercompany.com and playhouse2020.com.
Henry, you're muted.
Now you can hear me. We'll go into a chat with the cast here. And so, first of all, I just want to say what an incredible pleasure and thrill this whole production has been for me. And I know for the rest of the cast. It's just been so much fun. And we've discovered so much in our rehearsal and in doing several performances about our characters. And first of all, I want to say to Janelli playing Hamlet, I'm stunned every time, and I'm more stunned every performance she gives. It's absolutely extraordinary, and it's more than I've ever seen any Hamlet give. I just thank you so much for that, Janelli. And the other parts as well. I mean, we've had quite a few changes of gender, and it's made the play completely different, really, in many ways. We've talked about, and we'll talk in a moment about what the dynamic has been in the relationships between the different people. It's been superb to see that happen. And just a point about Polonius, that Paula just picked up this character and brought a whole different character, so appropriate and so right and so beautiful to this mother as she is now, and I just enjoyed it so much. I mean, I could pick out everybody else, and I will do it as we go through. First of all, so Janelli, how's it been?
Oh my goodness. Every time you speak, I want to just keep, crying. It's so hard not to be so emotional because it has been such an incredible experience working with each and every one of you every single day. And every time I jump into a rehearsal with everyone, it's always changing. We're always trying new things. I'm trying new things and you're trying new things as well. And I get affected by every single thing. So thank you for just allowing yourselves to be brave, to just make mistakes or not even think about it. Just, let's just have fun with it. And it's the first time I've been able to perform with so much freedom. And I'm so happy to share this, moment with all of you because, previous to this, my confidence and my anxiety about stepping foot on stage and being seen was ridiculous. I couldn't do it. And every time that I jump on this stage, this screen, it's as if I'm, I feel like I'm more seen now than I would ever be up on stage. It feels so much more intimate. You are all a part of my daily routine. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow, guys. I can't not wake up and set this whole thing up. And I'm so grateful and so thankful that you all created that. You all created that community. And that translated into this wonderful production. It's such a beautiful feeling to be part of such a great, cohesive, talented, brave team that we're down for whatever, technical difficulties or not. There's absolutely no pressure. I have never been in a performing setting where I didn't have the anxiety of pressure. And, thank you for all of you. Thank you, Henry, being the producer that you are, being the director that you are, being the actor that you are, the writer that you are, because you see things in so many different perspectives that you allow us the freedom to explore our characters. You trust us so much. It's like, here, just do whatever you want with it. And, we come back with something and you're like, that's fantastic. Let's move on. And it's like, okay, now I can bring more. And it's the first time that I've worked with a director that has allowed me to do that, to fully be myself in a creative sense and bring parts of Janelli that are there and mixing it in with this character and just flowing every day. So thank you for that.
And how was it, as we're still with you, how was it playing Hamlet as a female?
that is a roller coaster in and of its own. I am so honored to have the privilege to play this role as a female, because it made me realize the importance of valuing ourselves as actresses, you know, as females in this industry, that our stories, our lens, the way that we view the world, and the way that we manage our emotions in the journey of it. Some people might call us different, you know, different things, because they don't understand what we're experiencing internally. And what I love about Hamlet as a story is that it's a story that allows the audience to jump into the roller coaster of the internal struggle, that fight that we have within ourselves, and how that struggle is getting in the way of us connecting to the outside world. So it was really beautiful that I could tell that story in a female perspective, to show people that we can play powerful roles like this, you know? Yes, we are emotional, but the emotion comes from passion, it comes from power, you know? And we've been limited to believe that too much is, you know, we have to shut it down, or, you know, we can't overstep a certain like power dynamic. We could only go so far. And I remember when I read Hamlet for the first time, and everybody talks about Shakespeare and they want to play Juliet and all these like pretty characters, but I wanted to play Hamlet, and I always thought that sucks. I will never play Hamlet because I'm a girl. And I played sports, but it was always like I'm not good enough because I play like a girl. You know, I will never be as good as the boys for some reason. And being able to play it now, it doesn't even matter, boy, girl. It's just about the essence. Like, can you capture this story? Can you go through the inner struggle of this character? Ask yourself these questions, you know, contemplate what it's like to really feel like you're dying inside, but you're still alive. Like the agony of that. Like, should I just end it because it's too hard for me to fake it, you know? And it was really cool to allow myself as a female to have a genuine interpretation of that.
And there's something we talked about before, which is your relationship with your mother. Marcia giving again such a fresh performance in terms of the emotion in that scene. I had never seen or felt so touched emotionally in the scene between the mother and Hamlet, and you two working together just bring such an extraordinary thing.
Well, it does. Because it's a very different feeling. It's the difference between a mother and a son, the relationship there, and then the relationship between a mother and a daughter. And I agree with Janelle very much so in that, you know, and I've been handling this for a few more years than you, this idea that somehow emotion equals weakness. Oh, she's so emotional. It's like, yeah, and why aren't you? You know, that's always been my question, is why are you just sitting there? Why are you just like okay with whatever is happening? Why aren't you emotional?
Yes.
When I read this, I was just in tears the first time I think I messaged you, Henry, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in tears. It's just, it's heartbreaking to watch your child go through this kind of thing. And in the way that the play has been condensed, certain elements have been taken out. So the queen, who's always been ambiguous in Hamlet, and how she feels, what does she know, what does she not know, certain things have been taken out, so they're kind of off the table, which is kind of interesting on its own. That's been kind of an interesting thing to sort of deal with, you know, because they don't want to make her don't want everybody to feel sorry for her the whole time, because I don't think that's appropriate. And as a mom, I'm going to fight for my child. And if that means, standing up to the king and, trying to get, the friends to help, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, is like, yes, a king's remembrance, like my husband, the real one. Anything, I'll do pretty much anything to protect her, including marrying my husband's brother to make sure that my child becomes the rightful heir. So and in my own life, I have a son and a daughter. So there's a different dynamic with each one. But the underlying sense of the mother protecting her child and fighting for that is the same. And I don't think that emotion is weakness. There is power, there is passion, there is strength in emotion. And I think if, as Jelani was talking about, if we as actors can help to bring that forward and show that to people, that it's okay to be emotional. It does not mean that you are less than any man or anybody else. So, and this has been so much fun with you, Janelle. I mean, and everybody. And today there was a little something different.
Yes.
Just like there has been every day. There was like a feistiness today. And I heard that, and that just kind of changed things for me, because it should, the dynamic.
And that's what I love about working with you, and that these random discoveries could happen at the moment. And I don't have to be afraid of it, because I'm so used to rehearsing things and doing things the same. But now I'm allowing myself to feel it and be affected by whatever it is that you're affected by. So that was an interesting surprise. I didn't know. I was like, okay, Hamlet must have not eaten this morning. I don't know. He's a little on edge, but okay, let's go. And how you just pick up and you played with that. And it reminded me of what you were sharing last night about being a mom and the relationship that you have with your kids. There was a moment in the monologue that you're speaking to me where the mom, I could feel as if you were talking to me the way that you would talk to your own daughter. There was a moment that I felt like, oh my God, that's my mother. And
wow, good.
Remembering that you said that you had such a great relationship with your daughter and your kids, that you can have a conversation with them. They could tell you all these things, and you have all this blackmail on them, but and there's a really cool relationship there. So for a second, closer to the end, it was an interesting feeling, because I truly felt the bond of a mother and daughter. Yes, I can hate you, and I could have very strong feelings for you, but I love you so much at the same time. And closer to the end, that's what it felt like. It felt like anger and love mixed together.
Exactly. I did feel that too. I really felt that pull. It's like, oh God, please don't. You're thinking you're seeing things, and I thought we just had this organized. I thought we just straightened it all out, and now you're seeing things. Don't do this.
Yes, and that whole moment just felt so real. That whole moment, it was like I was talking to my mom and you were talking to your daughter, and I just love that I could go there with you, and we could just like bounce it right back. And that's it. That takes a lot of courage, because that's also letting go of so much, and
it is.
And like I said, I'm inspired by you all every day. So I said, I'm not even thinking about it being the last day. I just said, hey, I get another opportunity to have this much fun with this group of people, so we're gonna go play. Yes. So it'll just get bigger and bigger and go where it needs to go.
That's right.
And so, thank you. And so, talking about mothers, Polonius is a mother, and Laertes and Ophelia. Paula, it is a wonderful family bonding there, isn't it? And so how did you feel playing it as a mother? I mean, you as I said before, you came in with this just extraordinary character who was just so believable, so and so fitted the words and so fitted the energy, but I've never seen anything like that.
I've usually seen Polonius played as like a much older man, much older than I am. So for me to play it as a youngish middle-aged mother of these two beautiful children did give it an entirely different dynamic. And I want to say when I'm dead and Laertes is going on about revenge, I'm like, that's my boy. But yeah, I just took the words and made them my own as much as I could, and left out all the stuff about, oh, he's a doddering old man. Like, put that aside. That's when somebody else plays it. I was just going to play it as a warm, doting mother who is a little bit dotty, but.
No, it was just so beautiful. And then on the other hand, Ophelia, Susanna, you came in to the play as a feisty, angry Ophelia, and that was just so. I know that changed the energy for me, for my character, and I think for other people. Where did you come up with that?
Yeah, I think again that condensed script and having the gender swapped in some roles, a lot of people are emulating characters, like you're kind of doing what's always been done. And so to have this fresh perspective allowed us to have a lot of artistic freedom and to make some really interesting character choices that don't get to be done when it's something that is expected, a show that's always done, that has been around. And so reading through the script, I just kind of thought about our generation now and like gaslighting and how a lot of toxic relationships, the partner will try and change your perspective of your reality. And so I just realized that that's like what was coming out to me, and I felt protective of myself and of that character. And I think that that's kind of where that feistiness came from, that I'm not just some mad young girl who doesn't know her way. Like, I have explored my sexuality. I've made a bold choice. Like, I'm ready to make these adult decisions and stand up for myself.
Beautiful. And Laertes then joining the family. What a again a feisty Laertes, but actually with much more innocence than kind of behind it. And Ophelia, it felt to me, and it's so interesting. How did you come up with your version of Laertes?
I think in comparison, especially to what Susanna was saying right now, in comparison to that, Laertes is a fool, especially in the beginning. This is what it feels like to me, in the way that he has this idea of France in his mind, and he asks for a return to France, and then that's life. He's going to France, and that's all everything's about for him, at least in the beginning, when he's talking to Polonius and Ophelia. And I think I feel for that, because it's sort of like I came to the United States in 2015 from Turkey as an 18-year-old, and that was my mentality. You know what I mean? I was a fool, and that was what it was about to me. Going to the United States, and then that sort of consumed that chunk of my life. And like the talk that I had with Polonius, I've had that talk with my mom, so it's the first part it just feels very familiar, and then because that first part feels familiar, the ending, the coming back, the vile king, that is just, this guy hasn't found real value in anything, really. There's this value of glamour that he sees in France, but then all of a sudden everything is taken away, because he doesn't know about his sister, but he thinks that she is going mad, and then he hears these rumors of his mom being gone, and these things that were not his priorities before, the things that he cared about before, are all of a sudden are all of a sudden taken away, and then the decision is, screw France. I'm gonna go do some avenging with no plan. So it felt throughout. There's been just like this gut sense, being led with my first instinct, whether that's just excitement and I'm gonna do this, let's party, versus I'll slay anyone that stands in my way of revenging my mom. That it's very. I found that gut instinct in Laertes very interesting. That like as the driving factor.
Wonderful, yeah. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Fantastic. Every time we're not doing this. Every time I'm not doing something, I'm remembering your laugh and your embarrassment and the whole thing. I mean, it was just I think so much. We talked about playing this as your generation, which is, I guess, is Generation Z, and I think you brought that in so beautifully, and it just so fits so well, and so great that you're a couple. You had fun with it, didn't you?
Yes.
I absolutely love Shakespeare. And one thing that I've noticed that everyone has said is that there's like a sense of like self, like you have an ability to be yourself when you're playing these characters in a sort of sense. Obviously, we're still acting and we're still portraying these characters, but like that's one of the things that I just absolutely adore about Shakespeare, is because he's like poured his self into these plays like way back when, and there's a lot of like personal issues that he's dealt with in these plays, and that it also allows us to put our own self into it, and how Reverend. No, I don't think that's the word. Relevant. There we go. Okay. How it's still relevant in today's terms.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I find that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern's like part they play in the machine in this play is very much able to be. It's something that a lot of Gen Z goes through in having to be there to support your friend during a very, very tough time of dealing with questions about your parents' fidelity and the death of a parent, which are extraordinarily difficult to deal with, but then also making mistakes in that process and trying to fix them, but still making more mistakes in the process, and in the end, screwing your personal relationships up, even though you only had the best of intentions.
And we're still Hamlet's friends, but we also have loyalty to the king and queen.
Yeah.
And
part of that is because they did offer to pay us, but it's also like their parent is calling you up saying, hey, Hamlet needs help. Can you help them? You wouldn't say no if your friend needs help.
And if I can say something, I absolutely adore working with the two of you. My friends, my Horatio and you two are the highlight of my day when I'm doing this performance. And that's what you were talking about your love of Shakespeare, and that's what I love so much about Shakespeare, and the fact that I'm able to work with such open actors, because now I'm seeing Shakespeare in such a completely different way. Like Henry was saying, Polonius, and seeing you play like a mom, it's just beautiful. I'm just such a big fan of you guys. I could just go on and on about all of your performances, but going back to you two, I just love our scenes because I discover so much about myself while I'm speaking to you. These are reflections that I'm able to have in the moment, and that just showed me how great of friends we are, and those moments where I'm saying, be straight with me, and you're like, well, I don't know what to say, and I'm like, just tell me the truth. And I feel like you're talking about it being relevant to today. Our generation, we go through so much that mental health and emotional health can no longer be ignored. So this is something that everyone is taking seriously. It is a burden to deal with, you know. It's not easy to be there, you know, for your loved ones and take care of that, because then you also have to take care of your own. And imagine managing that and then the rest of the world, you know. So your friendship is so valued to me, but also the pain of being betrayed, and the fact that I'm able to go there with you guys. We can laugh together. And what I loved about today's performance, this was an absolute treat. You guys were just so affected in such a beautiful new way, but you give the most amazing facial expressions. I feel as if I was acting in your living room or wherever it is that you are at this moment. You give me so much with your eyes and the breath that you take. So thank you so much for all of that. You guys are just
Thank you.
fantastic.
You do.
I feel like our scenes and the scenes between like Polonius and Ophelia and Laertes are some of the few genuine moments of compassion and love in this play, and to be able to show that is so powerful.
Bedroom scene as well.
The pipe sequence between Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and Hamlet. That's, I mean, since the first time I saw Hamlet in Turkish, that's been the scene that's been stuck in my mind. But just in this production, it's one of my favorites. That just from the beginning, when the conversation starts with, "Can you play this pipe?" I can't blink. It's just awesome to watch, because you're right. I agree. There's such compassion, but there's also something taboo in the room, and it's not revealed. But some compassion is trying to come through, and there's this like weird battle of the two concepts. It's very interesting. It's so cool, and you guys are awesome in it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And talking about relationships, friendships, so the friendship between Horatio and Hamlet is very different, isn't it? Molly playing Horatio. And what I found was that whenever Horatio's there, she's bringing a kind of a bubble of peace, a bubble of quiet, a bubble of pause as well. And that was just so beautiful to see. How did you feel that between you? I mean, I could feel it between you.
It
Yeah,
just felt like I could just be myself with you.
Yeah.
Like
I really feel like
I don't have to pretend I wasn't crying.
yeah. I feel like Horatio is like the character in the play who has no other motives behind them other than they want to help Hamlet. You know, even with like RNG, like they're being paid, they have some other thing going on, but I feel like Horatio's only goal is to care for Hamlet and make sure that Hamlet is doing okay and try to help when and where she can. And I feel like that friendship is it's very raw, and it's the kind of friendship where you can lay bare all of everything.
And
And
you
I think it
accept
was very
everything.
different because you were two women friends.
Yeah. Being two women is very different than being two men, I think. I don't know. I don't have any experience in that, but I feel like the friendship is different between two women than it would be between a male Hamlet and a male Horatio. Just the
Definitely.
dynamic. Yeah, the dynamic is just
Mhm.
different.
Yeah,
Like even
I
between
agree
me and
with
my guy friends, it's different than it is between me and my girlfriends.
Mhm.
I think it also has to do with the people that you really allow in, you know, the people that you allow into those dark moments, you know. They see you and like you're having a panic attack or whatever is going on. They're the ones that are there when you don't want anybody there. And they're the ones that accept you and make you feel that yes, you are a hot mess. Yes, you said things that you probably will regret, but hey, I will not take it personal. I love you. Let's just, you know, let's just work together to help you out. You know, it's that level of support, that not non-judgmental acceptance that I can break in your arms. I can be that vulnerable. And sometimes, you need just the knowledge of knowing that you have somebody there if you needed them, and I think that every time that we do this scene, that's what it feels like. It goes so deep. It's like a sisterhood or a brotherhood. It feels like family to me. That's why, I wasn't thinking too much about the relationship between two females or two males. I was thinking more about um, all of the people in my life that have created that space for me. It really made me look at friendships in a completely different way. And even though the scenes might have seemed brief, there was so much weight to it and so much love and so much care. Even at the end, we're talking, you're telling me we can back out. You don't even have to speak to them. I will speak for you. I just want to take care of you. I know you're not okay. But you also accept that, when I tell you I'm going to handle it, I'm going to handle it. You're like, well, she's going to go and make a mess out of it, but I'm going to be there for her. And that's the love that I feel.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I agree completely. I want nothing more than to take care of you, I think is really the bottom line there. And well, somebody's gotta. Nobody else in your life is going to. God damn it, I will.
I'm trying, okay? I'm
your best. You're doing your best, but you married her uncle.
I know.
Ultimate betrayal. You hurt my heart. And, but this is family. Horatio, RNGs, they are my brothers and sisters.
Was thinking was like Horatio is with you till the end, like all the way up until like Horatio was there for you even though you're bleeding out on the floor and you're dying. Like, oh, like that part really gets me. And with Horatio, like it's like peaceful in a way, like at least like out of all the trouble that you've gone through, at least you're dying with like your best friend in the world.
Yes.
And they care about you and they're gonna miss the fuck out of you. I'm sorry, that was really bad.
No, but that's exactly it. My sentiments exactly. And the moment, I look into her eyes, even though it's the computer screen, I'm saying goodbye. And what does that feel like? Especially during these times when friendships are so important. And I mean, the family friendships, the ones that you don't have to be blood related, just the people that have been showing up, and have been accepting us just the way we are, especially during the times that we're living in right now, really makes me appreciate that. So I'm so happy that we were able to capture that through the telling of this play. And I thought about Hamlet Now, and it really does feel like Hamlet now because we are actors being fully affected by what is happening in the outside world, but we're bringing it. And this is what we're experiencing, everything that we're talking about.
And just to add to the feminine energy, so Samantha playing Marcellus and Audrey, I think that opening scene is again very different on the battlement, because you have Horatio and Marcellus as two women friends again, and it kind of just sets the scene in a wonderful way. And again, these relationships are just so different. And
yeah, Laertes is my big brother. Laertes is my goofy big brother that, oh my, and that's why I feel so bad, but I still want to play with you because, I mean, if we're playing, then that means we're good. Just let me know that we're good. Don't give me the cold shoulder, The kind of brother that he was to Ophelia is the same way he was with me. And maybe even a little bit more because I'm very stubborn and I'm very competitive. So, you know, our friendship is a little heightened in that aspect. Like, come on, I want to fight you just because I want to prove to you that I'm stronger, dude. You know, that kind of friendship. Like, I could be a tomboy around you, and you accept me just the way I am, you know. So it is really interesting to have that amount of love, and then also feel like I did something that I cannot fix. And I know that you might hate me. But what I love about our relationship is that, you know, he does hate me, but he also loves me at the same time. And the beauty of your ending is when you're guiding me to, you know, through my death. Like, you are a few steps ahead of me. So today I felt it even deeper. Like, you're really concerned, and this is what you're going to experience. It's going to be half an hour, you know. Choose your words wisely. And you know, and at the end make it a point that I do love you, and I completely dissolve you of all guilt. I liberate your soul, you know. And that literally is what gave me the impulse energetically just to speak to Horatio after that. Imagine you're dying and somebody comes at it and attacks you, how different your death would be. And I feel like my death was so peaceful, even though it was so painful, because you gave me that gift of forgiveness. You gave me that impulse. And talk about friendships that lift you up. Like, you know, we killed each other, and even at the end, he's like, I love you, here you are. I'm gonna be here, I'll guide you through it. Just take care of dying, and I'll meet you on the other side, you know. And I love that. And I love that you bring so much light to it.
We're going to have to, thank you. We're going to have to wrap this up now. Just for Dave playing the priest, particularly, you came up with a realization that you have found a new calling in life. You were so brilliant in that part. Thank you for doing that. Just really set that tone, and that awful tone.
And hopefully tonight after our show, and we'll talk a little bit more, Henry, we can dive into you playing both kings, past and present. I think that's a really interesting dynamic that I hope we get to touch on after the next show.
Yes.
Well, yes. Thank you. Question from the audience: Where did the script come from? We didn't invent it. I found it on One Act Plays online, and I think it's a brilliant, brilliantly done. So another performance tonight at 5 Pacific and 8 Eastern. So we better get rested. So thank you very much for coming, for the audience. Thank you very much to the cast, and see you again in a minute.
Thank you.